All right, football fans, buckle up because today's news is absolute bombshell material. We are talking about a trade rumor that's shaking the NFL world and sending shockwaves through Dallas and Cleveland alike. The Dallas Cowboys, a team with a storied history and a passionate fan base hungry for championship glory, may be making one of the boldest moves we've seen all season, targeting none other than Greg Newsome II, the talented young cornerback from the Cleveland Browns. But here's where things get wild. Reports are swirling around the possibility of a $300 million contract extension being in the mix, which, if true, would make this one of the most lucrative deals ever proposed for a cornerback in NFL history. The speculation alone is enough to get every Cowboys fan dreaming of a suddenly impenetrable secondary, and Browns fans anxiously wondering what this means for their defense. So, what exactly is going on here? Let's unpack everything we know and what it could mean for both teams, for Greg Newsome II, and for the NFL landscape as a whole. First, to understand the gravity of this rumor, you have to look at the Cowboys' current situation in the secondary. Over the past few seasons, Dallas has faced significant challenges with their cornerback core. Injuries have sidelined key players, depth has been questioned, and opposing offenses have found some success targeting Dallas defensive backs. Even with a defensive-minded coach at the helm and some solid players, the Cowboys have not been able to lock down their pass defense consistently. And when a team with Super Bowl aspirations has a glaring weakness, it becomes an immediate priority to fix it. Enter Greg Newsome II, a young cornerback who, while not yet a household name like some elite corners in the league, carries significant upside. Drafted in the first round by the Browns in 2021, Newsome has shown flashes of the talent that made him a first-round pick: speed, agility, solid tackling, and the versatility to play both outside and slot corner positions. He's still young, just in his mid-20s, which means he has room to grow and potentially reach elite status. The Browns, for their part, have not been shy about investing in Newsome's future. They exercised his fifth-year option on his rookie deal, locking him in through 2025. This move signals that they see him as a valuable asset. However, the very fact that he is locked only through 2025, combined with Cleveland's crowded roster and salary cap constraints, may make him a prime candidate for a trade, especially if Dallas offers a package that can bring in draft capital or address other team needs. And this is where the rumor mill heats up. Some insiders and analysts have floated proposals where Dallas would send a combination of mid-round draft picks to Cleveland in exchange for Newsome. Imagine the Cowboys trading away, say, a 2026 fifth-round pick and a 2027 third-round pick, giving them immediate reinforcements in the secondary. This kind of trade would be considered a low-risk, high-reward move if Newsome lives up to his potential in the Dallas system. But here's the part that really sets the rumor apart: the notion that Newsome would immediately get a massive contract extension from the Cowboys, reportedly worth $300 million. Now, if you're like most NFL fans or analysts, you're probably thinking, wait, $300 million? That sounds crazy. And, truthfully, it does sound extremely ambitious, bordering on unrealistic given current market trends. For a cornerback who is still proving himself, a deal of that magnitude would be unprecedented. Even the league's top cornerbacks don't usually command such sky-high figures. Most elite corners are looking at deals in the $20 to $30 million per year range, and only a handful have ever broken into the $30 million plus territory on average annual value. A $300 million total contract implies something like a 10-year deal averaging $30 million a year, which would be a massive commitment for a player still early in his career and with some question marks around consistency and durability. Still, the very idea of a $300 million extension creates headlines, generates hype, and puts the Cowboys in the spotlight as a team willing to make a splash to shore up their defense. For Dallas fans, this could be exciting news: the prospect of locking up a young, talented cornerback to help contain some of the league's top wide receivers. It would also send a message to the rest of the NFL. The Cowboys are not just focusing on their offense or their star quarterback. They are ready to build a balanced team capable of making a serious playoff run. From the Browns' perspective, trading Newsome could make sense if they're looking to capitalize on his value before his rookie contract runs out, or if they want to clear cap space for other priorities. But reports from Browns insiders and Newsome's agent suggest there is no overt push to trade him yet, and that Newsome himself is happy in Cleveland. So this rumor is far from confirmed, which adds layers of intrigue. It might just be in the early whisper phase, or it could be a way for both teams to test the market and see what offers might emerge. Digging deeper into Greg Newsome's profile, you find a player with a blend of speed and technical skill, but also one who has faced some injury setbacks and inconsistencies that have slowed his progression to full stardom. This makes him a fascinating prospect for the Cowboys, a potential diamond in the rough who, with the right coaching and scheme fit, could blossom into a shutdown corner. Dallas has a history of maximizing player potential, especially on defense, and this trade rumor fits that narrative. It would also allow Dallas to immediately address the secondary without relying solely on draft picks or free agency, which can be unpredictable. However, the $300 million contract figure remains the most speculative and debated part of the story. The NFL has never seen a defensive back command that kind of money in total guaranteed or an average annual value. So what could this number represent? It might be an exaggerated figure, a long-term projection that includes various incentives, escalators, or performance bonuses, or simply a media-fueled rumor to spark conversation. Regardless, the Cowboys, a franchise known for making bold moves, could be considering a significant extension to secure Newsome long-term if they do trade for him, but something closer to $80 million to $120 million over 4 to 6 years seems far more realistic and consistent with current NFL contract trends. Looking at the broader picture, the potential trade and extension would have ripple effects for both teams. Dallas would immediately boost its secondary, giving quarterbacks and defensive coordinators more confidence in coverage. This would take pressure off other defensive players and might even allow Dallas to adjust their defensive schemes with more versatility. On the flip side, Cleveland could leverage the draft picks acquired in the trade to address other weaknesses on the roster, perhaps focusing on their offensive line or other defensive positions. It's a win-win on paper, but the devil is in the details: how the contract is structured, how the players fit, and how both teams manage their cap space will determine the ultimate success of any deal. As for the fan reactions, you can imagine the range of emotions. Cowboys fans likely see this as an exciting development, a move that finally addresses a glaring need. Some may express skepticism about the $300 million figure, but the hope of landing a young, first-round talent who could transform their defense is enough to generate buzz. Browns fans, meanwhile, might feel conflicted. They want to keep a promising young player but also understand the realities of the NFL's business side and the importance of draft capital and financial flexibility. Social media is already lighting up with memes, hot takes, and fiery debates. You see images of Newsome decked out in Cowboys gear before anything official has happened, dollar signs floating above his head, and fans debating the pros and cons of such a huge investment. This is the kind of rumor that fuels the NFL offseason and trade deadline chatter, and it's exactly what makes following football so thrilling. So what's next? Well, if you want to see this rumor develop into reality, you'll want to watch for several key signs. Any leaks from team insiders, shifts in cap strategy from Dallas, changes in Newsome's public comments, or official trade talks reported by trusted journalists will be huge indicators. The trade deadline will be the most critical window, as teams scramble to adjust rosters for playoff pushes. If a deal isn't made by then, the offseason could see renewed discussions, especially as Newsome's contract situation becomes more urgent. So what do you think? Would you want the Cowboys to pull the trigger on this trade? Are you buying into the $300 million hype, or do you think it's just clickbait? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. I'm pumped to hear your takes. And don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the next big NFL scoop when it drops. Thanks for hanging out and diving deep into this massive story with me. Until next time, stay hyped and keep loving the game.